It's Vern from VFC Archery. So welcome back to my channel. What I'm going to do today is just explain kind of where I'm going to go with the next few bows I'm going to make, and who knows, it might just continue on after that. What I'm planning on doing is making bows with just simple tools, a knife and a hatchet. I made both of these. I forged them both. I've got 01 tool steel. In one case I have a knife, and it is a U handle, and I've got an Osage handle on my axe here. This actually was an old bow that actually had broken, and I split it, put the small thin axe head in there, and sinewed it. These two tools I will use in addition to the two that I made. I've got a very small knife made out of 1095 steel. I've also got a Swedish axe that is very small. It's only about 10 to 12 inches long. So you might ask, why am I using such primitive tools? Basically, you could get a little bit more primitive by just using stone tools. Someday I might try doing that, but at this point I'm just using simple tools to make a bow. This is not very common. You'll find that most bow makers that make bows on the internet or on YouTube are not using primitive forms like this. They're using draw knives, depending. They might even go and use band saws, etc. But I'm getting back to as close to the basics as I can in using these types of tools. So here's an example of a piece of wood that I will use to make those bows with an axe and a knife. So you might ask, why am I going back to such primitive forms of making bows? Well, part of it is just kind of a natural progression of how I feel. I started making laminated bows, I was planing wood, I was making kind of a traditional, non-traditional type of bow. It wasn't real enough for me, so I started making self bows. And then composite bows. I've made a horn bow, I've also made sinew-backed bows. But to me it's just kind of getting down to basics. It's removing the artificial nature of something that in its form is quite primitive. I'm just doing this for my interest, and what I get out of it is down-to-earth type of feeling that I've made something with my own hands with as limited tools as possible. Someday maybe I will use stone tools. Of course, that is another realm, basically above all bow making. I think if you can make a bow with stone tools, you're at the top of the pyramids. And I'm not saying that I'm better than a bow maker that makes laminated bows or what have you. Every type of bow, and like everything in life, requires a skill set. So I'm in no way putting down people that do that. For me, it just seems that if you are trying to combine making something very primitive with something sophisticated and advanced, something's missed in the middle there. You know, if I'm trying to make a primitive bow, but I'm using all power tools to do it, I think that I've missed something. This is not something that you're going to do to make a lot of money if that's your goal. I mean, a lot of guys that have YouTube videos, websites are making bows for the public. I think it's great. You know, I encourage people to buy bows from these guys. They're not making them as primitively as I would be, because you can't. You wouldn't be able to survive as a business. So, but in that case, they're doing it for a different purpose. My purpose is not to sell these bows. It's to get as much out of the bow making experience, and with the end result that is a primitive result and will basically satisfy the need that I have to do that. I don't consider myself an expert. Actually, I don't consider hardly anybody an expert out there. I think there's people that have varying degrees of knowledge and expertise. Try your hand at this if you've got it in your blood. You want to do this, you get back to your primitive ancestry, wherever that may be, whether it's in North America or whether it's in Europe or where have you. Bows go back 10,000 years, so it's a part of all of our past. So, once again, Vern from VFC Archery. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you.